Hi, Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I wanted to show you this set. There's still time to take advantage in the holiday catalog. This is the catalog right here, or rather the mini catalog. I've started playing with this set and I just absolutely love it. I love all the layering that you can do with it. So I'm going to work on this card today. I've got several cards that I've done, but you can see here's this card. It's really an amazing card. Here are some of the other cards I've created, and I'll kind of go through how I put these together, and that I took advantage of this other lovely set that's out right now that really can uh, make your cards pop. It's the floral fitting set, and I love these framelits that came with it. So that's for another video. But let's go ahead and look at this card here. This is a card that's featured in the mini catalog, and I wanted to play around with it, but I did something different that I'm going to show you. As you can see with the top here, what I did is I actually used a embossing folder, and or rather a stencil. I used a stencil and I kind of stenciled some texture, and that's what I love about this set, is that there's so many ways to layer if you're an avid stamper and you love layering. You'll also notice that I used some of these gold holly leaves. These are available in the mini catalog, and they just kind of add a nice sense of bling. I used the textural elements. Again, these are available in this catalog. They're featured as part of the suite, and I'm going to show you how I went ahead and colored those. And then this lovely paper. Now this paper is just a piece of DSP. I got Mittens is joining me on the other side over here, if you can see her little fur, um, that you have to fussy cut. And I don't mind fussy cutting with a set like this, because if you look at the dies that come with this set, I mean, there's so many things that you can do with this bundle that I will show you. But if uh, they didn't include a framelit to cut out from the designer series paper, but that's okay. I'd rather Stampin' Up! Give me a framelit that I could use in another way. So here is the card that we're going to be putting together. You will need the only thing that you'll need is this stamp for the greeting, which we're going to emboss with white embossing powder. I am going to be using some early espresso cardstock to do that. We're going to have a base card that's going to be in basic white. We're also going to cut out a circle here as a background. Now what I used is either the layering, the stitch shaped framelits, the largest one. Now I'm going to have to put Mittens down because she's getting a little feisty right now. The largest of the stitched circles works well, and it adds a nice background for this. You're going to need the designer series paper, and we're going to take we're going to take this background here, and and I've already done it, but I use this pattern here. And you're going to need this piece of designer series paper, and I cut out the hollies, and you can see here I cut out the holly flowers. So those are the things that you're going to need to put this card together, as well as some of the ribbon that comes with the set. Now what I did with the ribbon, and you'll see as I demonstrate this, is that I took the ribbon and I cut it in half and kind of frayed it, and it kind of gives a nice look there. So those are all the pieces and parts. All my directions will be on my blog. I wanted to show you the effect that you can get if you used a stencil and kind of stenciled the top of the paper. I actually used a transparent grit paste to do this, but we're going to use another stencil or another paste as well. And I'm just going to get out my tools here. We have a shimmery white paste that comes in the catalog, as well as just a regular paste. So I'll be using one of these to do the stenciling on our designer series paper. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Hey, I didn't want to forget to mention that you will need some dimensionals, some tear tape, some fine tip glue, some multi-purpose glue, as well as some glue dots to put together all the layers for this card. We're going to begin by taking our base card, which is 5.5 by 4.25 when it's folded, and we're going to cut our DSP layer 5 1/4 by 4. Now this is a directional DSP pattern. I like it going up and down and north or south, so I'm going to cut that at 4 there, and then 5 1/4, and that's going to fit nicely. And then I want to score my basic white base card so that I can have the crease and create my base card. And I'm creasing that at 5 1/2. Then I use my bone folder to make sure I have a nice crisp crease. Now I'm going to bring in my silicone mat with a paper towel so I can apply my embossing paste. I have a collection of decorative masks, and everything from the artistic mix decorative mask that's in the annual catalog to some of the older masks that have been around for a number of years. I just think they're lovely, and they don't take up much storage, so they're definitely worth keeping, because they have some really pretty patterns that you can use. And I just saw a sneak peek of the January or the spring mini catalog, and it's got some pretty decorative masks or stencils as well. Now I'm using the shimmery white finish for the embossing paste that is available in the annual catalog. I apply it and I kind of spread it out towards the edges. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a totally even application. I mean, that's kind of the artistic part about it. But if it does come along the edges, if I'm making a layered card, I can very quickly just kind of scrape so that it doesn't go off the edge. I am spraying some of the stamping mist on a piece of baby wipe, and I'm using my cling film to press down and to remove any of the air. And that that jar of embossing paste has lasted me quite some time. But if you're new to using embossing paste, what you want to do is immediately put your stencil or your decorative mask and your tools in a sink or bowl of warm water. Otherwise, it will dry and it'll ruin your mask. Here's the other one I did. I used a translucent grit paste that comes from Ranger that I was playing around with. I'm also going to cut the 2 circles from the stitch framed circle dies, and I'm then going to apply my cardstock, my DSP, to my base card with multi-purpose glue. And since my other, and this embossing paste actually dries rather quickly, I'm going to go ahead and begin to assemble this card as well, so you can kind of see both of the cards coming together at the same time. And I'm going to apply my circles to the center of my card, and I'm going to pull in my wood embellishments here, and we're going to color them using our Stamping Blends markers. I'm using the Light Cherry Cobbler first, and then I'm going to use some dark cherry cobbler around the edges with early espresso. So let's watch. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull in the fussy cut poinsettias that I've cut from the paper, and you can see I actually take advantage of all the pieces by layering some of the flowers on the other pieces that I may have cut out to kind of give a little bit of dimension. So that's a technique where you can ensure that you use all your DSP when you're fussy cutting. Now we're going to go ahead and adhere the basic white circles to our card. Now because of the embossing paste, you do have to kind of sit with the glue a little bit to make sure that it does adhere well to the front of our card. I'm cutting some ribbon. I'm just kind of gathering it kind of in the shape that I want it to appear on my card, kind of folded over twice. And then I'm going to grab a long pair of shears. These are a pair of fabric shears that I'm just going to very carefully follow one of the lines all the way up to the top so that I can then fray a little bit of that one side. And I'm going to save some of that string because it will come in handy for making some other cards. You can see kind of how pretty that is, and it makes it very easy to fold. Now I want to kind of select my poinsettias and kind of place them where I want them to appear on my front of my card, and then I'm going to start with my largest element and place them first and then kind of work around from there. I'm using fine tip glue. This is some fast fusion, but it was kind of dry and I had to, it was leaving a lot of kind of stringy pieces. So I actually go to my fine tip glue. So go ahead and enjoy the assembly. So there you go. Some really lovely cards that are easy to put together, and I think the real nice touch is the embossing paste. You can kind of see the way they kind of add another layer of texture, especially if you enjoy layering. This is really a bundle that's for you. Stay tuned for some of my for another project that I'll be featuring soon on how you can use the dies to do some neat layering as well, and using the fitting florets dies that are available now and will be in the January catalog as well. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please like and share, leave a comment. Go to my blog for project details. All my products are available on my online store. If you don't have a demo, please consider me. You can join as a hobbyist for $99 and get a 20% discount and personal attention from me. This is Kat Chancellor from Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. Happy stamping.